Hey guys, Fall Monk here. So, want to get another video out there, and I want to go back to my roots and build. So, what I'm going to do with this video is actually talk about Pyromancers. So, I feel like Pyromancer is a pretty popular thing across all genres when it comes to most of your stereotypical shows. There's probably going to be a Pyromancer build or just flame-based character in general. I think some good examples of it are like Roy Mustang, Pyro from X-Men, Ace from One Piece, okay, there's a lot of fire characters in One Piece, but Ace is, I think, is a good example of it. And D&D, it's a very viable thing. And honestly, when I think you look at a lot of spells, fire is like one of the most predominant elements among all the possible elemental spells. So I want to go into that. What is the best possible pyro-based build? Which a good side of the fact there's so many pyro spells is there is a lot of damage you can do with them, but a little bit of a downside is a lot of later game creatures have resistance to fire. Like I know a lot of demons and devils have resistance to it. Some even have immunities, but this build, it should break resistances at the least. It won't really do for immunities, but against base enemies like humans, you're going to be set. So without further ado, let's get in this build. And what it is as far as race goes, background doesn't really matter with this one, of course, but you want to go someone who's studied a lot. I thought of Roy Mustang a lot making this, so Sage kind of made sense to me because I just love a Roy Mustang in general. I just love Travis Willingham in general. What am I saying? So going for Roy Mustang, he probably a Sage background, and he would be human, but for this build in particular, what works the best is actually Tiefling. And if you have Mordenkainen's, I feel like one works in particular, and that is the Mephisto tiefling of the sub-races. I think it's Mephisto. I am bad at pronouncing these names. It's like Mephisto Tess. I just call it Mephisto for the easiest. Because the base book has the Descendant Asmodeus, which has a few decent spells for it, but Mephisto I felt like would have been the best one because tieflings get some innate spells, plus the ability to be resistant to fire, so I thought that'd be really good for a pyro build. And what the Asmodeus one gets is Hellish Rebuke, which is a really good spell, no matter how you look at it. But their only other spells were Thaumaturgy and Darkness, while Mephisto's, their spells they got are Burning Hands, Flame Blade, and Mage Hand. So your Charisma would be your spell casting focus for this, but at the very least you have three spells that you absolutely have for free, which makes Tiefling viable nearly however you play them. But for spellcasters, it's good to have them freebie spells. And for non-spellcasters, it's good to have them extra spells for more versatility. And with Tiefling out of the way, you're going to get +2 to Charisma, +1 to Intelligence. That's what I feel like is most important, the +1 Intelligence for the class for this. Because I looked over all the spellcasters, and Wizard's the one who set most firmly for this. Why? There's a build I really want to do with this, and that's a Fire Dragon Descended Sorcerer, because that's just a cool idea in general, but Evocation Wizard basically gets some of the abilities they would have for that, but better, honestly. And reason for that is the fact Evocation Wizards, they get some amazing spells for Evocation in general, which is, if you didn't know, one of the schools of magic, and each school of wizard, they specialize in certain kinds of spells. Evocation are the damaging spells, like your fireballs, your firebolts, stuff like that. Those are evocation most of the time. So evocation are meant to be the pure damaging spells, to the point it even mentions in the book that they're used in military sakes for artillery purposes. So before tanks, there was the glass cannon wizards that you'd fight with in the military, which is an interesting concept to me for D&D world. It's just imagining basically a tank for them would be a giant metal encasing around a wizard just sniping spells out of a barrel. I need to make a build on that. That's actually a pretty cool idea. Anyways, so Evocation Wizard. What you're really going to get from this, which will help, is as a wizard, you already have a massive access to an insane amount of spells, so you're going to get pretty good when it comes to that as well. But what they get that really makes it good is a second level to get an ability where they can sculpt spells, and what it means is all your allies are immune to your AoE effects. They automatically succeed, so you can literally drop a fireball amongst all your allies and only hit the ones you want to hit. So yeah, that's just incredible as it is, and it gets even better when at 6th level, cantrips that require saving throw do half damage instead of no damage, because normally when you see the saving throw of cantrips, you don't take any damage. But for them, they always take damage. So it's decent ability. At the very least, you're always doing damage, so that's something neat. And then at 10th level is where it gets really cool to me, where you add your int modifier to all invocation spells damage. So yeah, that's something to me right there. I like that. And so at the very least, you're always going to have a +5 to your spell damage. So if you roll low, you're still going to have a little bit of buffer there, because that's one really downside to running a spellcaster if you roll low a lot. So this helps a bit. And finally, at 14th level, one of the coolest abilities in the game to me, just because of the flavoring you can have behind it, is once per day, you do max damage on a spell level 1 through 5. But after you use this effect, if you cast another spell and do the max damage, you take 2d12 necrotic damage per spell level. So you can quite literally kill yourself just to do crazy amount of damage to one person in particular you want to take down. And this is amazing because an example is if you cast Fireball at a 5th level doing the max damage, it would be instantly 65 damage with your adding your into your evocation spells. So you're going to do a crap ton of damage regardless. So yeah, overall, Pyromancer Build, this seemed like the best fit to me. Now, other things you can do, and the reason this is why I really picked Tiefling when you go into what would make it even better. So there's 2 feats in particular I think that really need for this class, and luckily wizards get the most feats out of any of the other spellcasters. That is, the first one is main. It's a Tiefling only feat, and that is the Flames of Plethagos, I'm guessing. It's on page 73 of Xanthar's Guide to Everything, within the Racial Feats tab. And what it is you can increase your Enter Charisma by 1, and you reroll 1s for damage on fire spells. So not only do you have that instant burst of damage, you're adding +5, you have an even higher chance of having higher rolls on your spells. And also, once you cast a fire spell, to the end of your next turn, you're cloaked in fire, you increase your visibility, and if anyone hits you with by attack, they take 1d4 melee damage, making you a little bit more tanky. People at least will be less inclined to hit you. It's just a neat extra little ability. And I'm not sure, but I think you can reroll to 1d4 as well, so that'd be neat. And at the very least, this one I think matches even well with it and completely fixes the build in some of the weaknesses, and that's Elemental Adept. And what it is this works for any kind of spellcaster that you want to be focused on one kind of type. What it does is you can actually break resistances to damage. So a demon with an average amount of resistance, doesn't matter. They don't have any damage, they take full. So yeah, it doesn't break immunity, but resistance, yeah. So unless you're fighting like a salamander or something you know is fire-based, that shouldn't be a problem anyways, but something you're not really sure that may surprise you, this would break that. And also, all 1s you roll with that spell count as 2s. So at max level, if you're not using your maxing out spell ability and you reroll 1 and it's still a 1, it's automatically a 2. So that should cover the basis of being really worried about low damage. So yeah, that's a pretty solid build in my opinion. I think it's one of the most viable when it comes to just pure damage sake. And I'd also ask a DM, hey, am I going to be in the elemental plane of fire for a while? Because I'm building a Pyromancer. That's where you may want to look out, because that would, yeah, you'd be in trouble there. And some other extra things I looked into it, they're not really crucial to the class, but I thought they'd be good things to have, is the 2 extra feats, and that is Warcaster and Spell Sniper. And the reason for it is Spell Sniper, you double your range with your casting distance of spells, and you also get another cantrip. So that's handy, get you a little more extra. And also a Warcaster, if you're going to be a Pyromancer, more than likely you're going to want to use Wallfire at some point. It's an absolutely amazing spell, so this will help you keep concentration on it, because Warcaster gives you the ability to have advantage on concentration checks with spells. So yeah, overall, you get all that, you get everything you need. It should be a pretty solid damaging class. Evocation wizards in general are just absolutely insane when it comes to damage output. I haven't played one myself, but I've played in a party with 2 of them, and me as the rogue, I was having trouble out damaging him. So yeah, that works. And the final bit I wanted to give is just like a little tidbit where I talk about like what spells I would recommend for this. It's kind of honorable mention, spells I like that I played with over time. And that's Fireball, 3rd level spell. You should know what Fireball does. A point Wallfire, it's a Wallfire. Firebolt is a cantrip. It does 1d10 base it's solid throughout the entire game if you have it. Delayed Blast Fireball, basically a landmine. Meteor Swarm, the 9th level spell, one of the strongest spells in the game, and Immolation. Basically wall fire, but centered on one enemy. All really solid spells. So you have all that, your build should be complete, and boom, there you go. So thank you guys for watching this video and all the support I've been getting lately. And I wanted to start a new thing to kind of encourage people to like and comment my videos. I've been doing this for a while anyways, but never officially announced it. If you leave a comment on my channel and I really like it, I'm going to pin it. Like, if it's really funny, it's really helpful to the video, I'd like to pin it just to kind of shout you out some. So, try and make me laugh, try and impress me, I'll pin you. And I do it a little bit because I've had some actually really helpful comments or just interesting ideas posted in the comments of my videos where like I made a mistake before and someone corrected me, and that was good to have. I pinned it just so people would not get the wrong idea. I don't want to give y'all misinformation. So yeah, I love this community, and I love how supportful it, I get emotional, I get tripped up, I'm sorry. I love how supporting y'all been, and just want to keep it going on. So yeah, thank you for all the support you have lately. Share this with your group or someone you think this will work for, and remember to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.